Hey everyone, it's Intel here, and today I'm going to be making a video on high ping versus low ping, and I'm going to be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of each along with what I think is better. Shout out to X Display, he said I love your videos. I just want to say before the video starts that this video did take me a little longer to make, and because of that I delayed it a little more than expected. I usually try to do an upload around once a week, but this took a little longer. I'm sorry, this was sort of a difficult video to make because I was sort of overwhelmed with school and work and just other stuff in my life that was just not allowing me to make this video. So I'll try to be a little more consistent with my uploads in the future, so once again I am sorry for that. But with that being said, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into the video. Alright, so first I'm going to be talking about high ping, and when I say high ping I'm referring to typically over 100 ms because that's where I feel the effects of high ping apply the most. One of the big advantages with high ping is hit stacking, and basically what hit stacking refers to is when you're able to swing at the other player and you're able to have those hits register even if your aim isn't on them or they're farther away from you. And that happens because there's a delay with what's happening on your screen as opposed to what is being registered on the server. And this is why it's called hit stacking, because your hits are able to stack up by the time that either your crosshair isn't on the other player or they're outside of your hit range. What this can lead to are some really crazy combos, some stuff you wouldn't see otherwise if you had a lower ping. Now there's also a disadvantage with this. For one, you're probably never going to get the first hit when it comes to fighting someone who has a lower MS than you. And if you're fighting someone who constantly trades with you, those delayed hits can also mean that you can sometimes lose out on hits. So with high ping, you want to be careful that your crosshair is always on your opponent, so you make sure that all of those hits that you get on your screen register. The next thing I want to talk about is delayed KB, and this is sort of a similar story to delayed hits. If your knockback is delayed, then that effectively means that it's going to take a longer time for you to be knocked away from someone if you're trading with them. So sometimes you can brick wall another person and win a trade just simply because that KB of yours is delayed and is preventing you from moving yourself before they move you, if that makes any sense. And this is why some people say that laggers don't take KB. It's not that they're not taking KB, it's just that there's a delay that sometimes works in their favor. But again, sometimes it doesn't work in their favor. One thing that happens if you have high ping is that if somebody combo locks you, it's a lot harder to get out of a combo. It makes it really easy for the other player to get free hits on you if you're not careful. Sometimes it's the best to escape a combo as fast as possible, but that's not entirely easy if your KB is delayed. The last thing I want to talk about when it comes to high ping is there's going to be a pretty significant delay when it comes to any sorts of projectiles. So let's just talk about pot PvP for this instance. When you throw a potion, potions are projectiles, and because of that high KB, there's a delay with when you throw that pot on your screen and what registers on the server. And for people who play pot PvP, people with high ping usually have to take a little longer time to heal and are more vulnerable to the other person getting free hits on them while they're doing so. And if we're talking about other games, any game that requires a bow, they're automatically at a disadvantage because of that delay. And this also carries over to other items too in the game, such as games that utilize water buckets and fire buckets, as well as rods, snowballs, and eggs. I'm not saying that it's impossible to be good with these items, and that's been proven wrong by many good players who play with a high MS, but you have to make sure that you're really accurate with those items if you don't want to be at a disadvantage. Another thing with delayed KB is sometimes that makes it harder for the other person to track you with their crosshair, because people with higher ping don't necessarily move in the same way as people with lower ping do. That sometimes throws a lot of people off and they're not able to aim against that. So overall, high ping is really just a high risk, high reward scenario. You have the risk of being vulnerable to some of the disadvantages of high ping that I said earlier, but at the same time, you have the reward of getting these really crazy hits in KB that would put you an advantage in a fight. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about low ping, and I consider pretty much anything under 50 ms to be pretty low ping. I think the biggest advantage with having low ping is consistency. You don't have to worry about some of the things like pot lag or delayed KB or delayed hits that can sometimes mess you up, but you have more freedom to be able to focus on the aspects of the game that do matter, like aim, clicking fast, because you don't have other stuff that's affecting those variables. If you have low ping, you don't need to worry about going into a trade and not having that first hit register, or not having hits that register at all in that matter, or having KB that gets you combo locked. Because you aren't dealing with lag, you don't have to deal with the disadvantages of having lag, which is something that's appealing to a lot of people. And I think that overall that makes it sort of an easier learning curve to people who play on a lower ping as opposed to a higher ping, once again because they're factoring less variables into their gameplay. Now, I don't really think there are any disadvantages to having low ping. However, you have to realize that you aren't getting the same rewards that you do with high ping. And once again, having high ping gives you the chance to have your hits register when you're not even aiming on them, or the player is farther away than you're able to hit them. them. Things like that aren't necessarily a thing that you can take advantage of when you have low ping. So you have the advantage of consistency, but at the same time you're missing out on some of the benefits that high ping has. So which is better then, high ping or low ping? And at the end of the day, well, there is no better, really. And I know this might be a disappointing answer for some of you to hear, but that's the truth. There is no better. Nobody is put at an advantage or disadvantage because of their ping. Maybe unless you have like over 200 ms, then you can say, yeah, you're at a disadvantage. However, there are aspects in this game that contribute so much more to your gameplay, like your aim, whether or not you sprint reset, how fast you click, that at the end of the day, it makes ping a really insignificant factor. And a lot of people use the excuse of, oh, it's just my ping preventing me from being good at this game, as a way to escape the reality that there are aspects of the game that you need to get better at. And it is because of that negative mindset that prevents some people from improving. Now, with that being said, I also think it is important to recognize the advantages and disadvantages of your ping. If you know that you have high ping and you know the other player isn't able to track you that well, then strafe a lot. Or if you know you have low ping and you can consistently beat people in trades, then go in and play a little more aggressive. Try to use some of the advantages and disadvantages that I talked about in the video and fit them into your play style. If you keep them in mind, then you can use them to your advantage. Anyways, guys, that's just about it for the video, so I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.